I seek refuge with Allah from the accursed shaitan. In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, most merciful. The people rejected the messengers when their brother said to them, "Will you not fear Allah? I am truly a trustworthy messenger to you, so fear Allah and obey me. I do not ask you for any reward for this message. My reward is only from the Lord of all worlds. Why do you build a landmark on every high place in vanity, and construct castles as if you are going to live forever, and act so viciously when you attack others? So fear Allah and obey me. Fear the one who has provided you with the good things you know. He provided you with cattle and children, and gardens and springs. I truly fear for you the torment of a tremendous day." They responded, "It is all the same to us, whether you warn us or not. This is simply the tradition of our predecessors, and we will never be punished." So they rejected him, and so we destroyed them. Surely in this is a sign, yet most of them would not believe. And your Lord is certainly the Almighty, most merciful. The people of Samud rejected the messengers when their brother Salih said to them, "Will you not fear Allah? I am truly a trustworthy messenger to you, so fear Allah and obey me. I do not ask you for any reward for this message. My reward is only from the Lord of all worlds. Do you think you will be forever left secure in what you have here amid gardens and springs and various crops and palm trees loaded with tender fruit, to carve homes in the mountains with great skill? So fear Allah and obey me, and do not follow the command of the transgressors who spread corruption throughout the land, never setting things right." They replied, "You are simply bewitched. You are only a human being like us. So bring forth a sign if what you say is true." Salih said, "Here is a camel. She will have her turn to drink as you have yours, each on an appointed day. And do not ever touch her with harm, or you will be overtaken by the torment of a tremendous day." But they killed her, becoming regretful. So the punishment overtook them. Surely in this is a sign, yet most of them would not believe. And your Lord is certainly the Almighty, most merciful. The people of Lot rejected the messengers when their brother Lot said to them, "Will you not fear Allah? I am truly a trustworthy messenger to you, so fear Allah and obey me. I do not ask you for any reward for this message. My reward is only from the Lord of all worlds. Why do you men lust after fellow men, leaving the wives that your Lord has created for you? In fact, you are a transgressing people." They threatened, "If you do not desist, O Lot, you will surely be expelled." Lot responded, "I am truly one of those who despise your shameful practice. My Lord, save me and my family from the consequences of what they do." So we saved him and all of his family, except an old woman, who was one of the doomed. Then we utterly destroyed the rest, pouring upon them a rain of brimstone. How evil was the rain of those who had been warned. Surely in this is a sign, yet most of them would not believe. And your Lord is certainly the Almighty, most merciful. The residents of the forest rejected the messengers when Shuaib said to them, "Will you not fear Allah? I am truly a trustworthy messenger to you, so fear Allah and obey me. I do not ask you for any reward for this message. My reward is only from the Lord of all worlds. Give full measure and cause no loss to others. Weigh with an even balance, and do not defraud people of their property, nor go about spreading corruption in the land, and fear the one who created you and all earlier peoples." They replied, "You are simply bewitched. Also, you are only a human being like us, and we think you are indeed a liar. So cause deadly pieces of the sky to fall upon us, if what you say is true." Shuaib responded, "My Lord knows best whatever you do." So they rejected him, and so were overtaken by the torment of the day of the deadly cloud. That was really a torment of a tremendous day. Surely in this is a sign, yet most of them would not believe. And your Lord is certainly the Almighty, most merciful. This is certainly a revelation from the Lord of all worlds, which the trustworthy spirit Gabriel brought down into your heart, O Prophet, so that you may be one of the warners, in a clear Arabic tongue. And it has indeed been foretold in the scriptures of those before. Was it not sufficient proof for the deniers that it has been recognized by the knowledgeable among the children of Israel? Had we revealed it to a non-Arab, who would then recite it to the deniers in fluent Arabic, still they would not have believed in it. This is how we allow denial to steep into the hearts of the wicked. They will not believe in it until they see the painful punishment. which will take them by surprise when they least expect. Then they will cry, "Can we be allowed more time? Do they really seek to hasten our torment?" Imagine, O Prophet, if we allowed them enjoyment for years, then there came to them what they had been threatened with. Would that enjoyment be of any benefit to them at all? We have never destroyed a society without warners to remind them, for we would never wrong anyone. It was not the devils who brought this current down. It is not for them to do so, nor can they, for they are strictly barred from even overhearing it. So do not ever call upon any other God besides Allah, or you will be one of the punished. And warn all, starting with your closest relatives, and be gracious to the believers who follow you. But if they disobey you, say, I am certainly free of what you do. Put your trust in the Almighty, most merciful, who sees you when you rise for prayer at night, as well as your movements in prayer along with fellow worshippers. He alone is indeed the all-hearing, all-knowing. Shall I inform you of whom the devils actually descend upon? They descend upon every sinful liar, who gives an attentive ear to half-truths, mostly passing on sheer lies. As for poets, they are followed merely by deviants. Do you not see how they read in every field, only saying what they never do, except those who believe, do good, remember Allah often and poetically avenged the believers after being wrongfully slandered. The wrongdoers will come to know what evil and they will meet. In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, most merciful. O see, these are the verses of the Quran, a clear book. It is a guide and good news for the believers, those who establish prayer, pay alms tax, and have sure faith in the hereafter. As for those who do not believe in the hereafter, we have certainly made their evil deeds appealing to them, so they wander blindly. It is they who will suffer a dreadful torment, and in the hereafter they will truly be the greatest losers. And indeed, you, O Prophet, are receiving the Quran from the one who is all-wise, all-knowing. Remember, when Moses said to his family, I have spotted a fire. I will either bring you some directions from there, or a burning torch so you may warm yourselves. But when he came to it, he was called by Allah. Blessed is the one at the fire, and whoever is around it. Glory be to Allah, the Lord of all worlds. O Moses, it is truly I am Allah, the Almighty, all-wise. Now, throw down your staff. But when he saw it slithering like a snake, he ran away without looking back. Allah reassured him, O Moses, do not be afraid. Messengers should have no fear in my presence. Fear is only for those who do wrong. But if they later mend their evil ways with good, then I am certainly all forgiving, most merciful. Now put your hand through the opening of your collar. It will come out shining, white, unblemished. These are 2 of 9 signs for Pharaoh and his people. They have truly been a rebellious people. But when our enlightening signs came to them, they said, this is pure magic. And although their hearts were convinced the signs were true, they still denied them wrongfully and arrogantly. See then, what was the end of the corruptors? Indeed, we granted knowledge to David and Solomon, and they said in acknowledgement, all praise is for Allah, who has privileged us over many of his faithful servants. And David was succeeded by Solomon, who said, O people, we have been taught the language of birds and been given everything we need. This is indeed a great privilege. Solomon's forces of jinn, humans, and birds were rallied for him, perfectly organized. And when they came across a valley of ants, an ant warned, O ants, go quickly into your homes, so Solomon and his armies do not crush you unknowingly. So Solomon smiled in amusement at her words, and prayed, My Lord, inspire me to always be thankful for your favors which you have blessed me and my parents with, and to do good deeds that please you. Admit me, by your mercy, into the company of your righteous servants. One day he inspected the birds, and wondered, why is it that I cannot see the hoopoe, or could he be absent? I will surely subject him to a severe punishment, or even slaughter him, unless he brings me a compelling excuse. It was not long before the bird came and said, I have found out something you do not know. I have just come to you from Sheba with sure news. Indeed, I found a woman ruling over them, who has been given everything she needs, and who has a magnificent throne. I found her and her people prostrating to the sun instead of Allah, for Satan has made their deeds appealing to them, hindering them from the right way and leaving them unguided. So they do not prostrate to Allah, who brings forth what is hidden in the heavens and the earth, and knows what you all conceal and what you reveal. He is Allah, there is no God worthy of worship except him, the Lord of the mighty throne. Solomon said, we will see whether you are telling the truth or lying. Go with this letter of mine, and deliver it to them, and stand aside and see how they will respond. The queen later announced, O chiefs, indeed, a noble letter has been delivered to me. It is from Solomon, and it reads, in the name of Allah, the most compassionate, most merciful. Do not be arrogant with me, but come to me, fully submitting to Allah. She said, O chiefs, advise me in this matter of mine, for I would never make any decision without you. They responded, we are a people of strength and great military might, but the decision is yours, so decide what you will command. She reasoned, indeed, when kings invade a land, they ruin it and debase its nobles. They really do so, but I will certainly send him a gift and see what response my envoys will return with. When the chief envoy came to him, Solomon said, do you offer me wealth? What Allah has granted me is far greater than what he has granted you. No, it is you who rejoice in receiving gifts. Go back to them, for we will certainly mobilize against them forces which they can never resist, and we will drive them out from there in disgrace. Fully humbled, Solomon asked, O chiefs, which of you can bring me her throne before they come to me in full submission? One mighty jinn responded, I can bring it to you before you rise from this council of yours, and I am quite strong and trustworthy for this task. But the one who had knowledge of the scripture said, I can bring it to you in the blink of an eye. So when Solomon saw it placed before him, he exclaimed, this is by the grace of my Lord to test me whether I am grateful or ungrateful. And whoever is grateful, it is only for their own good. But whoever is ungrateful, surely my Lord is self-sufficient, most generous. Then Solomon said, disguise her throne for her so we may see whether she will recognize it or she will not be able to. So when she arrived, it was said to her, is your throne like this? She replied, it looks to be the same. We have already received knowledge of Solomon's prophethood before this miracle, and have submitted to Allah. But she had been hindered by what she used to worship instead of Allah, for she was indeed from a disbelieving people. Then she was told, enter the palace. But when she saw the hall, she thought it was a body of water, so she bared her legs. Solomon said, it is just a palace paved with crystal. At last she declared, my Lord, I have certainly wronged my soul. Now I fully submit myself along with Solomon to Allah, the Lord of all worlds. And we certainly sent to the people of Samud, their brother Salih, proclaiming, worship Allah. But they suddenly split into two opposing groups. He urged the disbelieving group, O my people, why do you seek to hasten the torment rather than grace? If only you sought Allah's forgiveness so you may be shown mercy. They replied, you and your followers are a bad omen for us. He responded, your omens are destined by Allah. In fact, you are only a people being tested. And there were in the city 9 elite men who spread corruption in the land, never doing what is right. They vowed, let us swear by Allah that we will take him and his family down by night. Then we will certainly say to his closest heirs, we did not witness the murder of his family. We are definitely telling the truth. And so they made a plan, but we too made a plan, while they were unaware. See then what the consequences of their plan were. We utterly destroyed them, and their people altogether. So their homes are there, but completely ruined because of their wrongdoing. Surely in this is a lesson for people of knowledge. And we delivered those who were faithful, and were mindful of Allah. And remember Lot, when he rebuked the men of his people, do you commit that shameful deed, while you can see one another? Do you really lust after men instead of women? In fact, you are only a people acting ignorantly. But his people's only response was to say, expel Lot's followers from your land. They are a people who wish to remain chaste. So we delivered him and his family, except his wife. We had destined her to be one of the doomed, and we poured upon them a rain of brimstone. How evil was the rain of those who had been warned. Say, O Prophet, praise be to Allah, and peace be upon the servants he has chosen. Ask the disbelievers, which is better, Allah or whatever gods they associate with him.